First, it was Katowice, then it was the Shanghai Major, and now it's IEM Cologne 2025. Donk, at the helm of Team Spirit, has completed what many consider the Grand Slam of Counter-Strike, yet he's only been playing at the Tier 1 level for a year and a half. I don't know what else to say, other than that whether you like Team Spirit or not, you have to appreciate Donk for what he is, because we may never see another player quite like him ever again. In today's grand final at IEM Cologne 2025, MOUZ took on Team Spirit, a rematch from earlier on in the tournament, this time in a best-of-5 format in the middle of the Cathedral of Counter-Strike at the pinnacle of the game. MOUZ unfortunately could not repeat the heroics from yesterday as they fell decidedly flat, being swept out of the server in just 3 games, falling short yet again at the pinnacle of the mountaintop. Let's go ahead and talk about it. If you guys have been enjoying my IEM Cologne coverage, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel already. Help me hit 10k subs by the end of the year. Also, follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers by the end of the Blast Bounty. That's about 2 weeks from now. We're at about 770 followers, so every follow helps. Thank you so much. And lastly, let's go ahead and thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, a CS2 trading website. You put in the skins that you want to trade, you select what you want, you use my code LionHeartZ for up to $5 off, or click the top link in the description, and boom, new drip.
Nice.
You can also use my code for a 35% deposit bonus if you want to buy with real money. And they have a free section with cool giveaways. So check the top link in the description, use my code to buy 15 Dragon Lores to let them know I sent you their way, and thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. So obviously off the rip, the big thing to talk about is that this finals was a blowout. MOUZ 100% failed to bring their same level from yesterday into today's events. Basically every player performed worse. Zershin and Torzi especially were shells of the brilliance they showed against Vitality yesterday, which, I mean, it was possible that this was going to happen. I think we were all hoping that we would get MOUZ and Spirit at full power, because when these teams tend to face each other, it's always a close, back and forth, very tight affair. And honestly, that in a best-of-5 environment, it's Cologne, it's the grand finals, no more Vitality, that could have made for one of the best matches of the year. Unfortunately, I think MOUZ being able to summit that hill finally taking out Vitality, it seemed to be like too much for them to handle to produce that form 2 days in a row. And at the end of it, Spirit simply walked comfortably into this victory and did so in just purely dominant fashion. At the end of this, after 3 games, MOUZ only won 2, maybe 3 full buy gun rounds, period, across all 3 maps. That's it. That's all they got. They managed to make their own CT sides feel slightly more competitive, which might speak to the fact that we are swinging the pendulum and CT side might be significantly stronger, at least at this point in the current meta, something we'll save for another video down the line. But regardless, MOUZ couldn't find any way to close games out and keep them competitive. And even worse, this wasn't like Donk dropped 35 kills every map. No, Spirit for once played good at every single level. Every player was fantastic in their own right. Even Chopper came through with some amazing clutches and cool plays throughout all 3 maps. Zwei was good. Zontix had some crazy clutches. Shiro was insanely consistent. There was no weak link to be exploited for Team Spirit. It was absolutely best case scenario where even if Donk died at the beginning of the round, Spirit would find a way to pull out that win. Alright, so getting into specifics, you'll notice a trend on all 3 games. We're going to start off on Mirage, and out the gate, MOUZ are going to win the first pistol round on the T side. Good job. They're then going to lose the 4 spot in the second. Bad. Oh my god, excuse me. Sorry, I was lubricating with sparkling water before that take, and it caught up to me. Anyways, after that, MOUZ would struggle to win but 1 more total round for the rest of the first half, which is not good. And this came about mostly from the fact that Zershin and Brolin could not win openers to save their fucking lives. Zershin would go 1-5 in opening attempts and 4-11 for the total half, and that left Torzi, Speaks, and Jimmy in a poor position where they had to try and leverage themselves into round winning positions, which they couldn't really convert. The most total kills a MOUZ player would get in this first half of play was 6, and none of them would crawl above a 0.64 rating while doing so, which is not good. And it wasn't even like MOUZ were losing close-fought rounds and post-plan situations and Spirit were winning a ton of clutches. No, MOUZ only got the bomb down 1 time, and it was the 1 round they won other than the pistol round. It was just a complete ineffectual ability to navigate any T-side presence. And the only reason that this scoreline looks remotely good is that in the second half, MOUZ won the pistol round and converted the first couple rounds after. But Spirit only needed to win 3 more rounds, and it's Donk on the T-side of Mirage. They were going to find those wins. This was just a piss poor start with full impact from all levels in terms of team spirit, where Chopper had an ace, Zontix had some good plays, everyone was activated as we already covered. MOUZ simply looked shell-shocked and unable to navigate what they were doing. Going into Ancient though, I was relatively confident that MOUZ would be able to bounce back in a strong way. Traditionally in matchups versus Team Spirit, MOUZ have proven to be one of the best teams in the world at neutralizing Spirit's best effort, which is throwing Donk out mid like a goddamn missile on the T side. Time and again, when MOUZ and Spirit have played on Ancient, MOUZ have neutralized that mid effort to the point where Spirit simply have no fallback plan. How many times on this channel have I covered Spirit versus MOUZ on Ancient, and then talked about MOUZ denying Donk mid-entrance, and then Spirit have literally no backup plan afterwards to recover the rounds? And here, we saw mostly the same. Out the gate, Spirit won the first 4 rounds, converted out the pistol round, early momentum, 4 straight bomb plants. But as soon as MOUZ got on the round with a great retake in the 5th round, they won out the half. 8 straight dominant round wins. And who was at the forefront of that? It wasn't Xerxes or Torji, it was Brolin. Taking bold, aggressive duels, taking space, really counteracting Donk's ability to get involved in these early round situations. Brolin was really the one player on MOUZ who stepped up to the occasion and was delivering big, impactful CT side moments. MOUZ would start the second half on their T-side campaign by losing a close-fought pistol round. Alright, fair enough, it happens. They then really convincingly won this force buy, with Xerxes just powering his way into the B bomb site and staking his claim on it. A fantastic headshot with the hero bot AK takes out Chopper. He rotates over to the spam wall and takes out Shiro, who at this point only has 3 kills and is really struggling. Add on a little Brolin Mac 10 magic inside of the caves, and dude, you got a force buy win. MOUZ flipped that into 2 more round wins as Spirit fumbled with their economy off of saved weapons, and all of a sudden we're at a 5-11 scoreline. MOUZ are right there. They just need 1 more round for match point. The series is back. They flipped the script. And then MOUZ threw down a Hall of Fame joke. That is the only way to put it. They lost the next 8 rounds straight and got cucked straight out of the game. Now, there's a couple of factors going on here. First off, Torji continued to have literally no impact. He ended this second half with only 5 kills and 10 deaths. Brolin fell back to earth after his very dominant CT side, also ending down the bottom of the leaderboard, and he also went 2-4 in openings during that time. Spinks, also not very good. Xerxes and Jimmy did their best. Meanwhile, Donk on the CT side went from a 9-9 first half to a 17-8 second half. Shiro got on the board in a big way, going 9-4. Chopper's Way and Zontix all had moments where they contributed massive impact. Zontix had a great double kill late in the A site that was a huge pivotal round swing. And once again, it really helped that MOUZ teed them up. They put the trampoline in front of the basket, and Donk grabbed the basketball and did 2 front flips before breaking the damn backboard. Like, look at this round specifically. We've gone from an 11-5 scoreline to now Spirit being on the cusp of tying things out 10-11. All MOUZ have to do is just get one of these bye rounds over the line, and so far, this round goes, honestly, mostly in their favor. All of the kills in this round at the start get traded out, whether it's Chopper getting traded out or Zontix getting traded out a little later on. Zwei gets 1 kill and traded out as MOUZ finally iris down into the late B hit, leaving us in a 2v2 with Donk rotating from A. Shiro caught out in CT. The bomb is just trying to desperately get down. Shiro gets caught off by Brolin on the cave's peak, but Donk trades him out. Bomb goes down and we just stop right here, pause the video. All right, you were Jimmy. All right, you're a gym fan in this situation and you're not gooning on Twitter. You're locked in. It's IEM Cologne. You just planted the bomb. You know Donk is CT. You're in a 1v1 where it's either you take your team to match point or you concede a tie after throwing this entire T side. And the guy you're stuck in a 1v1 with is literally the best fucking player in the world. How do you approach this 1v1? How? I don't even know. If I'm in this situation, I'm just giving up because it's Donk. What are you going to do? He's holding both sides of the jiggle peak on pillar. He's still going to hit the flick, which he does. Like, I can only imagine if we just cut back to that freeze frame once again, that Jimmy is sitting there sweating, shitting himself over the amount of aura and spiritual pressure he can feel from Donk activating his Bankai on the other side of it. And at this moment, tie ball game, I knew MOUZ were cooked. I knew there was no recovering. It didn't matter what happens on the next 3 maps. Spirit were going to win this because MOUZ, they looked defeated. They looked like they capitulated. They looked like they were ready to go home. And honestly, I don't blame them. This is a terrible way to end your tournament efforts. It's just, it's tough, man. It's tough. This could have been one of the most entertaining finals of the year, and it just ends up being a footnote in Donk's legacy because of how bad MOUZ played. And again, would just like to point out, Ancient, they did not win a single gun round that is full bot versus full bot round against Spirit on their T side. 0 out of 5 possible tries they had, they failed. And just a spoiler alert on Nuke, because they started on the T side of Nuke, did not fare much better. They only got 1 of those by the end of the first half, which is just unreal. And much like how things went on Ancient, MOUZ started off with a bit of momentum. They won the Pills round. They converted the first 2 rounds after, but as soon as Donk and Spirit got the guns in their hands, they went to work. They dominated the CT side. Chopper had some amazing rotations. He was just in MOUZ's head with some of these late rotations, just getting behind players out of nowhere. Even if Donk was dying, there were a handful of rounds in this first half where Donk died almost immediately, and Spirit navigated the 4v5 and still won. Which is just like, that's usually how you beat Spirit. You kill Donk, and then the rest of them fold. They didn't fold. Anyway, I have no further thoughts. They got stomped out. Spirit closed it out. They finished the sweep. Let's talk about some historical context, because I think that's like where there's a whole lot of interesting stuff to get into. So Donk, 1.5 years as a tier 1 pro. He has already completed the Counter-Strike Grand Slam. He has a Cologne win and MVP. He has a Katowice win and MVP. He has the Major win and MVP. All 3 of those wins, by the way, were the highest rated MVPs that these tournaments have ever seen. And before you say it in the comments, yes, simple, during the COVID Cologne that was held online in 2021, had a 0.01 rating higher than Donk. So Donk averaged, for all intents and purposes, the same rating in the arena. Donk had the most dominant performance in Cologne. I don't even want to hear this. I'm a massive Simple fanboy, but Simple did it online in his home. They are not the same. They do not qualify as the same. Regardless of that, Donk ends his Cologne efforts with a 1.5 rating, a 1.47 during the playoffs. I don't even know how to quantify how dominant this guy is at a position that should not be able to farm stats like this. Like, I don't know how much you guys understand this. Someone as aggressive as Donk should not have stats this good by the very nature of the fact that he is running into action. He is not playing like a passive opper or even an aggressive opper. He is using AKs like our ops, and he is getting AK impact like he is using an op. We have never in any version of Counter-Strike seen a pure rifler get consistently this level of impact. It's actually insane. Thank you to Statsmeister on Twitter for compiling this, but take a look at this. Take a look at Donk dominating every fucking stat he possibly can, except for how long people are flashbanged, how many op kills per round they're getting, or total clutches. Shout out to Zontix. Other than that, every other stat he dominates. Highest playoff rating, highest ADR per round win, 100 total firepower, averaging nearly a kill per round. His KD differential was plus 90 as the fucking entry. He had 27% of rounds with a multi-kill. 0.2 opening kills per round is insane. Highest KAST. Like, it should not be possible to do this with the playstyle that Donk operates at. He is he's a freak, dude. He's an absolute machine. Like, it's unreal that he hasn't seemed to taper off. He only seems to be getting better. Like, when he broke up with that Katowice win, and keep in mind, this Katowice win was the first time I ever did anything close to this current recap format. It was the first time I tapped in and did pro CS content. So I've been on the ground floor building my channel since Donk appeared on the scene. I thought there was no fucking way that Donk could maintain this performance. Like, he would like regress a little bit and hover around, the other star riflers. He'd be like a Nico, or well, that year Elige, or Zontares, Zershin, whatever. But no, he has continued to rival the numbers of players like Zaiwu and m0NESY, who have the benefit of the op being the broken weapon, the intended broken weapon. Like, dude, like, there was that stat a few weeks ago. Donk has more CT AK kills than CT deaths by AKs. That shouldn't happen. Like, I understand that Donk may not be the most entertaining personality. I understand that Spirit may not be the most likable team. I get that. They don't have aura. But they don't have an aura as people. Donk brings aura in spades, more aura than anyone else can handle when he's playing the game. And there's something beautiful about that to me. So even if you don't like Team Spirit, which I totally understand, you have to appreciate what we're seeing. Players like ZywOo, Donk, MOUZ, Simple, Nico, we don't get many of those. We're not going to get many of those point blank, period. So if I don't like a player like ZywOo, I appreciate every time I get to see him dominate in a tournament, because it's special to see once in a lifetime talents at their prime. Donk is exactly like that. So when I say on Twitter, and I mean this, we may not see a Donk ever again. There are going to be players eventually who are probably going to overtake him, because talent always grows generation to generation. But there will not be another player who plays just like Donk does. And my God, is he entertaining when he does what he needs to do to elevate Spirit to these heights, despite the rest of the roster not being nearly as good as those around him, his other peers. And honestly, I think the most gratifying part about this tournament, and where we'll leave this final note on, was seeing that Cologne as an event actually matters even to someone who feigns that stoicism like Donk. That shot of him just being captured in the moment, staring at this trophy in the middle of Cologne. The fact that he broke down and was crying afterwards, because this is such an important achievement in a player's career, even more so than a major to many of these players. That was a humanizing moment that this young 18-year-old phenom desperately needed. It was a beautiful moment captured in this beautiful game that we all enjoy. Counter-Strike at its best, being played by one of the very best that we may ever see. What an end to IEM Cologne. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this kind of content, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help me hit 10k subs by the end of the year. Make sure you follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. Help me get to 1,000 followers. Thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Check the top link in the description. You go to trade on their website and let them know I sent you their way. Thank you to SkinsMonkey. Thank you especially to our channel members: Justin, Jesse Furley, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTR, B1 Games, Cody Foxworthy, Justin Vegt, I'm Flashbangs, Nomi White, Rowdy, Vergil'sPlasticChair, LBKcs, Crunchy Water, Snax Enjoyer, zerotwocs, and our newest channel member, drudenae. If you want to support me directly, it's the best way to do it for $5 a month to get your name at the end of the video just like this, as well as a custom role in our community Discord. Thank you so much to the channel members. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace.